Anybody remember that super awkward period when Gen 3 was launched and there was just like no way to get back your Pokemon from Gen 1 and 2? What was going on? Well, as most of us know, Gen 3 was sort of a reboot for the franchise. Due to the hardware and capabilities, it just wasn't possible anymore. But now, I can bring my Blaziken from Pokemon Emerald all the way up to Pokemon Sword and Shield. In Diamond and Pearl, because, I gotta talk about Gen 4 sometime this year, we were introduced to the first version of transferring Pokemon to the literal future! The Pal Park. The Pal Park is an interesting and often forgotten relic of the Sinnoh region. It's pretty much a place you go to catch your old Pokemon from Gen 3, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Which actually makes me wonder if it'll return again in the remakes, because if we're really gonna have a one-to-one remake, well, they gotta do something with the Pal Park, right? I mean, it'll probably just be removed, or maybe it'll be something new entirely, but still, interesting to think about. But the Pal Park is just some place you go to catch your old Pokemon. How interesting can that be? It's just a game mechanic. Well, what if I told you that there's some spicy hidden lore at play? I mean, come on, a park being able to contain all legendary Pokemon, a catching show which pulls in money from across the entire region, Park Balls being as powerful as Master Balls, and Oak somehow being involved, and much more. Actually, so much so that I can't do this on my own. So, I brought someone along with me to help.
Hey, Pokemon Masters! Prima Diva, Birdkeeper Toby here, and yeah, the Pal Park's a weird one. An area of Sinnoh that I forget is part of Sinnoh. I think because I more often use the version of it that appears in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, where you can migrate more Pokemon in one day. The whole point of this place is for you to catch your rare Pokemon that you transfer from Pokemon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Fire Red, and Leaf Green, and there you'll participate in a catching show. But what is a catching show? Well, it's where you go around with your Park Balls, catching these Pokemon that you already own, but I guess canonically belonged to a different trainer, and there your fans will come to cheer you on, and you get a higher score the rarer the Pokemon are that you catch. But how can you have fans? How can people have heard about you as a champion catching these rare Pokemon? And the clue really is in the name, show. It's a catching show. In Jubilife City, there is the Jubilife TV station, which broadcasts all kinds of shows about Pokemon, but my guess would be that the Pal Park Catching Show is one of them. It's one of the many programs that the people of Sinnoh watch. From that very station, people can watch a champion face off and capture a legendary Pokemon if they want, so long as one has been brought to the park, and that's because they have those Park Balls that Prima mentioned. And those balls have a 100% capture rate, just like the Master Ball, which is also given away as a prize for doing the lottery at Jubilife TV.
But there's another Pal Park, one in Kanto in fact, in Heart Gold and Soul Silver. It's now in the place that the Safari Zone used to be, in Fuchsia City. The new Safari Zone has instead moved to Johto of all places, where it's now left of Cyanwood City along with the new routes 47 and 48. It was built by, what's his name again? Balboa? Whatever. The warden of the Safari Zone. That old guy whose teeth you have to find. Kinda gross thinking back to it. You just find some old guy's teeth. Anyway, he chooses to close the one in Kanto, then in the meantime goes traveling, then his son opens up the Pal Park in Fuchsia City, then when the warden is back from his travels, he opens up the one in Johto. Considering that the Pal Park and Safari Zone are both huge places of ground for Pokemon to live in, then it just makes total sense that the Pal Park would take over the ground that the Safari Zone used to occupy. But who could be funding all this stuff? I mean, surely all of this doesn't just happen overnight. Well, how about Professor Oak? There he is, the main man of the hour, considering that he does grant you access to the National Dex and tells you that Pokemon from other regions are somehow attracted to the Pal Park. I mean, the guy's gonna be involved somehow, right, Toby?
Now, one thing we know about Professor Oak is he loves the camera. He's all about show business. If YouTube existed in the Pokemon world, Professor Oak would have a channel. He was part of the radio show with DJ Mary, and of course, in the very first episode of the animated series, you can see him giving this educational edutainment show all about the starter Pokemon. Oak loves being on camera. And I can tell you from personal experience that being a positive person with a love of the camera and being the, well, if I dare say so myself, world's leading expert on Pokemon, certainly it's a good combination. Jokes aside, this career of being an expert in his field who loves to talk and be heard and be on screen has probably led to a pretty profitable time for Professor Oak. Just look at his ranch. He owns a lot of land. He's also part of a family name that's stretches back generations. With his grandfather Oak, I believe it is in the manga, being the first Professor Oak of Pallet Town, who actually put Pallet Town on the map. So you know Oak's rolling in money. Yeah, that one I'm not doing so much of. And now we have a whole bunch of connections here, because who do we think would love to create an educational catching Pokemon show where people from around the world can view strong trainers catching even legendary Pokemon for the sake of education and research? Who could fund it all? It's Professor Oak, obviously. What's better yet is that they get to be studied in an environment that really suits them. Speaking of which, how is it that they managed to get every single Pokemon to stay within its specific environment in the PAL Park? I remember hearing something about this once, or reading something about, that's right, the Disney Animal Kingdom.
Ah yes, Disney's Animal Kingdom, where all types of diverse and different animals walk amongst each other, no problem whatsoever. They don't attack each other, they don't attack the guests, so what's going on? It may look like these animals can go everywhere they want, but actually that isn't the case. You see, there's lots of camouflage barriers and mounts, and just all sorts of other things in place, so that, you know, lions don't chew on zebras. On top of that, the areas they are in, well, they're just really relaxing to be in. The lions have rocks that change temperature depending on what season it is, and they even have air conditioning. I don't even have air conditioning. Of course, the animals are all trained, responding to whistles and all of that stuff, and properly fed all the time. If you were a lion, sure, you could waste your energy on some dumb prey, or you could just chill on your sweet rock and just eat your free food all day. And if the animals get bored, well, there's lots of stimuli for them to go around. To me, it's pretty obvious that the PAL Parks and the Safari Zones, well, they operate like this as well, giving the Pokemon extremely comfortable spaces for them to temporarily live in, perfectly suited for their chillness levels. I mean, yeah, the Pokemon don't get trained like the real-life animals do, but I mean, if something does go wrong, you can just throw a Park Ball at them. What is up with these Park Balls anyway? What are seemingly disguised Master Balls doing at these PAL Parks? Silphco discontinued their Master Ball makings a while ago, and the only way to get a Master Ball nowadays is either through professors like Professor Oak, or through evil teams like Cyrus. Which, by the way, can we talk about how stupid it was of Cyrus to just give you the Master Ball? He could have easily used it on Palkia or Dialga. Weird dude. But also, like Toby mentioned, through lotteries. Though they are called trainer ID lotteries, which makes me think that if you're not a trainer, you'd probably have to pay $1 or $2 to get one of those tickets.
Previously, we've discussed things like the Safari Zone being run by evil teams and evil team leaders, but to me, that doesn't make sense. If you were Team Aqua's Archie, all you'd have to do is wait for someone to transfer up a Kyogre, and you're good to go. It just doesn't make sense for an evil team to run this kind of place. But Professor Oak, or someone like Professor Oak, in a situation where he creates the PAL Park so that trainers that he and his friend professors send out on adventures can transfer Pokemon to each other, to put them in an environment where they can be on camera safely, to educate and entertain other people who will then be inspired to go out on Pokemon journeys to transfer more Pokemon, all of which is funded by the National Lottery of Jubilife TV, an area that Oak is connected to, especially by way of the Master Ball, which is a lottery prize which entices more people to, you know, if they were to win it, use it to catch legendary Pokemon to send to the PAL Park, and then that lottery is being funded. The money goes round in a giant cycle, funding the catching, training, and transferring of Pokemon to educate people, to inspire more people to go out and train, or at the very least take part in the lottery where they might win a Master Ball, much like the PAL Park balls that they see on TV. And you know, Oak's gotta make a living too, so why not make a few bucks off of it?
That's right, it's all a clever scheme to educate the masses about Pokemon. Huh, you know, Toby, I'm now just realizing how much these Park Balls look like another type of ball. I mean, surely this ball that I have in mind, well, it must have been developed for a reason, right?
And here comes my real time to shine, because there is one type of Pokeball I love theorizing about, and that is, of course, the GS Ball. A ball that, if you take the GS away, looks a lot like the Park Ball. A ball that in the animated series, Oak is obsessed with trying to get open because it's been clamped shut. Looks like, to me, a development, a prototype, an early version of the Park Ball being produced by Professor Oak in the time of Generation 1, just before Generation 2 and the Safari Zone getting turned into the PAL Park.
And that is the video. I hope y'all enjoyed it. But before you go, don't forget that there's another video on Toby's channel with me in it as well. Whoa! where we're gonna look at the Rotom Dex and Oak's connection to it. It's a great video, go check it out. Link in the top of the description. Go watch it. Go, go, go. What are you waiting for? And if you came from Toby's channel, welcome, I guess. Welcome to the channel. It's so nice to have you here. If you want to go ahead and subscribe, the button is right there. I cover a lot of Pokemon theories and Pokemon biology as well. Ooh, so, you know, if you want to see more of that, hit that button. It's a cool button. It's red. And of course, before I go, I want to give out a massive thank you to my assistant professor and lecturer patrons, Ty Burns, Michael Piccirilli, DeltaMajora, Gwen Joy, and Daelyn Knyght. Y'all are the best as always, and thank you for the support. And with that being said, I hope y'all have a good day, night, or morning, and as always, take care.